Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today is yet another review in the Force Awakens toy line, and this time it's the Force Awakens 6-inch Black Series Chewbacca. Now this is a part of actually the first wave of figures, so I kind of went backwards in this review since I happened to get Chewbacca a lot later than I initially thought I was going to. So now we'll take a look at Chewbacca. Now Chewbacca is pretty much the same as the one released in the 6-inch Black Series previously, with a few minor modifications that makes this toy look pretty cool, and I like what Hasbro's done to make this a new take on Chewbacca. First of all, we'll take a look at the box as usual. It has Star Wars, the Force Awakens, and the Black Series up here. Shows a picture of Chewbacca as usual on the side there. He's number 5 of the first wave, so this is the final figure, number-wise, within the first wave altogether. It's got a bio as usual, and that's pretty much it for the box. Now we'll take a look at Chewbacca himself. Now technically he has 2 accessories, and the reason why I say technically is because the bandolier pouch piece around his shoulder is removable, so if you wanted to, you could just take that off by sliding it over the body. But it does have this indent which shows where it's supposed to go. So technically this is not an extra accessory by means of the way that it was packaged and so on, since it's already attached to him when you get it out of the box, but technically since it is a separate piece, it could be considered an accessory. The only other accessory it contains is his signature bowcaster, which is really nicely designed. So it does have this weird thing where it happens with the blaster, is that, as you can see, you kind of need to play around with it in order to get the blaster in hand, otherwise it's just going to look very strange. And because of that, you kind of need to use the wrist articulation in a certain way in order for it to look correct. Anyways, now looking at the wrist articulation, his head can only move about that far due to it being a large headpiece, and that's pretty much it. It can kind of look up and down, but very, very minor. His shoulders are ball jointed, so it allows full movement here. Can also bend outwards. He does have a swivel on his elbow, which can kind of turn, but it is a bit tricky to get into, and it's rather tight in mine, so go. And it can also bend up and down on his elbow as well, which is very tight joints, so there you go. And as I mentioned earlier, he does have a fully jointed wrist, which can turn around and bend left and right. He has waist articulation, but only down here, so it is a bit strange in the way that it looks, but it does work due to the fur design, so it does work pretty cool. And he does have a slight crunch, but not too much. He does have outward movements in the hips, which allows full movement there, but it does get kind of stuck there. It can swivel as well, bend at the knee, can swivel on the knee as well, and he's got ankle pivots. They're very tight, so you don't have to worry about the figure falling over as much. Now he is a bit on the lanky side, and also because of that, he does become a lot taller than several of the other figures released in the line so far. Just to show a comparison, which I'll show here, of all the figures released in the first wave of the 6-inch Black Series for the Force Awakens, here he is next to the other figures. Just going to quickly display on the side here. Show a little comparison of the size of the figure itself. So let's see, try to get Rey into frame here. Let's just put her there. And then, obviously BB-8. So as you can see, he is an extremely tall figure, and I think up to this point, he might be the tallest figure in the line. I don't have Phasma here to show the comparison. They might be similar heights, but I'm not sure at the moment. But it is still a pretty nice set of figures to get a hold of. Now, obviously, this figure is mostly just a slight retool of the existing 6-inch Black Series figure released, if I remember correctly, earlier last year. But because of how limited a lot of the later on waves of the 2014 6-inch Black Series, Chewbacca, unfortunately, happened to be one of the harder ones to find altogether. So this is definitely a good way to get a Chewbacca if you haven't got one previously. And I think it does have some pretty nice changes. Even though I don't have the original one, he does have a new face sculpt And I think his colors changed a bit from here and there. But I know for sure that this bandolier piece is in a different color. So other than that, it's pretty much the same figure. The articulation is the same. Pretty much everything else is the same except for maybe a few minor changes in the paint, as I mentioned. But overall, this is still a really nice figure, and I'm finally happy to get a hold of Chewbacca. I did see the original Chewbacca, but at the time I just wasn't really into the 6-inch line since I was still collecting the 4-inch line. But now with the Force Awakens coming out in the next month or so, and the 6-inch line is actually moving with a really good start, even if the first wave or so has been hard to find originally. Now the second wave is also having a lot of distribution issues. It's going to be pretty cool, and hopefully Hasbro will up the production for the next couple waves and so on and so forth. But anyways, I highly recommend getting Chewbacca for those who are Star Wars fans, or even kids who like the character Chewbacca and so on. And I think this is a really nice addition to any Star Wars fans collection. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Talk on the Gideon blog as soon as they reopen. Also, please check out my Twitter handle under Darkon633. Been kind of busy with work and so on. Life's been changing quite a bit recently. Also, please check out the other channels down below, including the WRW podcast and more. But for now, I'll be bringing more Star Wars reviews in the future, especially since next month we'll be moving on to a whole bunch of Star Wars reviews. But anyways, I'll be seeing you on YouTube. Bye.